Hey everyone, I'm Vanessa Guerrero, and I am so excited to have the opportunity with Sideshow today to talk about the hilarious show Crossing Swords. Joining us today, we have animation director Bradley Schaefer.
Hi.
And we also have supervising storyboard director Shannon Denton.
Hello.
And we have co-creator and director John Harvatine IV.
Hello.
And I just want to dive right back into this.
Yeah.
How much of the character interpretations are in the actor's hands?
A lot. You know, when we sit with them, the first thing we do is we just talk about like what would you like to do? How do you see this character? Like, what would you bring to the table? Brad, it's like when we're talking with the animators, it's like we're not there to just like tell them this is what you need to do, this is what you have to do. It's working with the artist and seeing what they bring to the table. So with every voice, with every actor, it's the same kind of thing. It's like it's talking to them about what we're thinking for the voice and what we're feeling, and then it's them like auditioning and kind of like trying out different voices and seeing what they're excited about. And when they're excited, then you're going to get something really good. Like with Seth Green and Blinker Courts, like obviously he does a lot of voices and he's Robot Chicken. But with Blinker Courts, like he played around and he did different variations of it. And then he found Blinker Courts and it's like, wow, like that's it. Like you get it. Like that is perfect. So it's really fun to find them. It's one of the most exciting parts of making the shows.
Watching them come to life.
Yeah.
I think the voice acting really lends, I mean, the actors are really bringing a lot to it that makes this getting into these characters much easier.
Yeah.
It was a really good team. What was funny about Nicholas is that when we brought him in, so he's got like a British accent, or that's how he speaks, I should say. And we wanted Patrick to sound really vulnerable and just like kind of awkward and uncomfortable. So we made him do an American accent just so he sounds like a little bit weird.
Berries, they're so beautiful.
Patrick sounds very vulnerable and just a little bit like not exactly sure what he's doing.
Sir Wendell, what's this hole?
Nicholas has such confidence in his voice and his acting, but when he does his American accent, it's just a little bit like off. And it's fun because you hear that in the episodes and it's like that character really comes through. He's a little bit insecure and it's kind of a fun little quirk that we were able to kind of find with him.
Yeah, and then as the board team and I think the animators get to know the characters more, than they can add more to it. Because anytime you're moving on from season 1 to season 2 and then beyond, it's just you're getting to know these people better. So it's a lot easier to convey story that way.
You're more like comfortable with those characters. Are there any characters in particular that are some of your favorites so far?
Definitely Blarney. Shoot, what's his name?
Barb, you love Bungles, but
Thank you. That's what
he didn't last very long.
I know. That's what I was just trying to think of. You helped me right there very much. Yeah, Bungles. So Bungles is one of my favorite characters, and he dies very sadly. And what's really funny about that, again, back to Tom Root, the co-creator, I told him, I'm like, Bungles is amazing. I love him so much. Let's bring him back season 2. No spoilers. I'm not going to say if he comes back or not, but I will say this. I begged and I begged and I begged for him to make a big appearance. He's there in spirit. We'll see what happens.
Justice for Bungles.
But yeah, I love Bungles. He's so fun. That character, he deserves his own spin-off.
Bradley, Shannon, any characters that have warmed the way into your hearts?
Well, I mean, Patrick, I know it's the easy answer because he's the star, but I mean, he's the Charlie Brown. He's all of us. He's that guy that you're rooting for.
What about in here?
He's you when you get in line first for something at work, but then some loud person comes over and goes, the line starts here. And then everybody starts lining up behind him. And then everybody's like, oh, you need to get to the back of the line. You're like, oh, but I was first.
What the?
He's right morally, but he's challenged.
Yeah, he's the everyman. He's the underdog.
Yeah. So I like, and then Blossom's anger, I really relate to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. I love Blossom.
I'm not an angry person, but it's fun to draw and create with that. That's it's a nice release. So she's enjoyable.
Yeah, she's got that great bombastic anger.
Yeah, she's amazing. She came in and the character is very foul and she's such a nice person, but we had the scripts and she read them and she just gives such like anger and just such piss and vinegar with it. It's just like, wow, like where did that come from? Like it's from such a it was just amazing. Like, watching her do that character was so fun. I also got to say with Tony Hale, so he came in, and when he did Blarney, like that was all him. Like that character is just so like weird sounding and perfect. Like that was, he brought that character. Like it was really amazing watching him just create this character. And again, Tony Hale, such an amazing actor. It's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, he's
him.
fantastic. I really adore Blondie.
Something to be said about the king and queen too, who are so not always great people. Yet they've got this long-standing relationship. You know, most people's marriages, you know, there's something to be, you know. So we should clap for that. That's, you know, they're still together,
For the king and queen.
causing mischief all over their kingdom.
I just got to say too, while we're on it, with the king, Luke Evans, so he has a British accent, like that's how he talks. And for us, you know, we wanted to make him sound kind of silly and dumb, so we made him do an American accent, which is really fun hearing him do that, because it's just, it kind of like, it dumbs down the character and makes him more relatable. But it's really fun hearing his normal voice, and then it's like this silly, the King Merriman voice is just, it's really fun. It's fun making them change their accents or whatever, and then you, like I said, you get these qualities that are just really different and just very unique.
Yeah, and especially with the stop motion, it just makes them so much more grounded and tangible as characters that feels like you know, and you can really tell where they're coming from. It's such an interesting combination, which is why it's had such good fan reception and why fans are so excited there's a season 2.
Yeah.
What's reactions from fans been like so far?
It's been really good, really crazy. Like it's fun seeing something that just didn't exist that is there, and then seeing, and I'm a big fan of Peg people. I love toys and all that stuff, but it's fun seeing like the toy community come out and just like be excited about it. Like that's really cool. Brad, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what's great about the fans, and also the show itself is so tangible, and it's like you're seeing something that you could make yourself in your garage, like a piece of wood and some paint. So a lot of fans have sent Harv photos through Instagram and other social media platforms, like their characters from the show, and
that's so cool.
And yeah, I love how it inspires people to get creative and make their own like puppets. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's really neat, is seeing, because make, like, you know, Peg people you can buy, like you go to Michael's, you can get like a little Peg person. But it's really fun to see people taking like a Peg person and then painting it as like King Merriman or whatever, and like that's what they see for the show. And it's fun seeing that, because like we're the same way. Like we're taking these characters and this is what our version of the show is, and it's fun seeing what their version of the show is, and then they share it, and it's just so fun to see like how they see it and how they respond.
Everyone's just so down to play with toys.
Yeah. I think all of us working on the project are big, you know, obviously toy people, and we love toys, and, you know, I've worked Robot Chicken and all these other aspects. And so when Harv's been sharing all the Instagram posts of, you know, other toy fans making their toys, I mean, it definitely makes it feel more like a community show in more ways than a lot of stuff you work on where you're kind of, you're removed from the fandom to some degree. This is definitely a much smaller crew. And I think, you know, we're all getting to know each other, and then, you know, the fans are, you know, I think feeling that, and they're responding, and we're getting to interact with them in a way that, you know, I haven't really gotten to in a lot of the stuff I've worked on.
Yeah, and they're building like these relationships with these characters and these storylines, and like season 1 had that amazing Coachella-esque set piece that was so fun. It was probably my favorite episode just for that alone. Are there any modern elements or events that you're going to be bringing in similarly to season 2 that you're also kind of tying in?
Yeah. Let me think how to say this here, because I can't give this
without spoiling.
But yeah, there's definitely there's some big events that happen that are very like Coachella or Beast Feast, is you know, as we called it. So there's definitely a few episodes that are like Beast Feast-ish that take a genre like music, and then we do our own version of it. So there's 2 or 3 episodes that you get to see a window into the world of what would be sports or whatever. Like how would we see that world? And so it's that's what's really fun too, is like we're in a medieval world, but we're going to take it and put it here, and then we're going to treat it like it's a little modern day, but also a little bit back in the day. So yeah, there's some pretty good episodes.
The fun episodes, because there was a lot of conversation back and forth of like, all right, how do we make it feel like that thing, but still medieval? And then how far can we push this to where now it's not medieval anymore? We need to
Finding
the
that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Of how to make it feel like it's old, but it's new and it's relatable. And these are toys and they're wooden and they're like aged, but it's a new show. And yeah, that's the challenge.
Now, actually, are you ever potentially seeing maybe in future seasons the idea of the show going into the future or past the medieval period?
Yeah, that's, so when Tom Root and I pitched the show, it was all about like, here is the playset, like here is a medieval world, but like as in the toy line, I don't want to say the name, but the toy line, there's like the Old West, there's like space, there's like underwater, there's a jungle. So yeah, like what we want to do with the show is like, here's the show and we want to grow it to these other worlds. So give it a little space, a little time. We want to take it and we want to go into these other places, because that's, for us, that's the fun of it, is just discovering these other worlds that are just outside the map.
I think Harv set it up well too, because the world, in season 1, it's fantasy. It's not just medieval. So that kind of opens up the door to, in fantasy, you can magic missile your way into anything. So
Yeah. Anything could be a time travel portal.
Yeah.
You can find the first season of Crossing Swords on Hulu as you get ready for the second season and many more to come, I hope. Shannon, Brad, Harv, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us some insight to the crazy world of Crossing Swords.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Vanessa Guerrero, and don't forget to let your geek side show.
Be sure to subscribe by hitting the S icon on your screen and click the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.